proposed amendment of Section 14 of the 1965 Act is appropriate, and regrettably it is necessary in the context of us facing a no-deal Brexit. One of the great achievements of the European Union has been the European Arrest Warrant. It enables countries to apply for the extradition of persons from other countries so that they can be held accountable for criminal acts that they committed in the requesting country. It has worked very effectively throughout the European Union. In particular, it's worked very effectively for the United Kingdom. One of the big losses to the United Kingdom when Brexit happens, particularly if there's a no-deal Brexit, is the fact that they will now be outside the European Arrest Warrant system. I suppose it reveals the artificiality of what Brexit is about, because no doubt that when it comes to negotiation with the European Union in the future, the United Kingdom is going to insist that it wants to be part of or have an agreement with the European Union which is similar in effect and similar in substance to the European Arrest Warrant. There's no reason why they would want anything less, and there's no reason to think there's any benefit for them by seeking anything less. So we're going to go through this artificial scenario where the United Kingdom can announce that it is out of the European Union, but in fact it wants to avail of all the very many successes of the European Union. And had the United Kingdom and political leaders within it taken the effort to praise achievements of the European Union, such as the European Arrest Warrant, then the people in the United Kingdom mightn't be as blinded as they are to the benefits of European membership. What will happen now is, if there's a crash-out Brexit, is that the 65 Act is going to be amended. One of the principles of extradition is that there has to be reciprocity in terms of the other country requesting has to also be able to extradite its own citizens. I was informed by the Minister at the committee meeting last week that that has in fact happened in the United Kingdom. The law there has been changed, and citizens of the United Kingdom can be extradited to the European Union and indeed Ireland in the case of a no-deal Brexit. So it's appropriate, therefore, since we have that reciprocal arrangement in place, that we should amend Section 14 in accordance with what the government is proposing. It's also a requirement in respect of extradition that the offence for which the request has been made must be an offence in the country from which extradition is requested. That's a fundamental principle. I think it's also set out in the 1957 Convention. That will apply here as well. In general, criminal offences in Ireland are similar to the criminal offences that are on the statute books in the UK. There are some differences, but ultimately when a request for extradition is made, it's clearly in respect of an offence that's an offence in Ireland, even though it may have been committed in the UK. So I think the section is appropriate. Hopefully it won't happen that we will have a situation where we have a crash-out Brexit. I noted what Deputy O'Leary said in respect of the European Convention on Human Rights. He's right in respect of that there is a thread, it's more than a thread, it's actually a strong strain of political thought within the Conservative Party in the United Kingdom that wants to get Britain out of the European Convention on Human Rights. In fact, in advance of the referendum in 2016, although the current Prime Minister of the United Kingdom came out in favour of remaining, she did suggest that it would be appropriate for the United Kingdom to get out of the European Convention on Human Rights. I think very many people in England who object to the European Court and the influence it has on British politics, in fact, are confusing the Court of Justice, or the ECJ, with the European Court of Human Rights. So I think if you were to ask back after the referendum whether the United Kingdom was going to be anxious to get out of the European Convention on Human Rights, I would have said yes. However, now that the reality of what Brexit involves is becoming clearer to people who advocated Brexit, I think there's now a recognition that there's much more to this process than simply getting Britain out of European agreements. It has consequences for them, as we can see in respect to the European Arrest Warrant.